Are you going to leave those votes in, which were never legitimately observed and certified and verified? What's the remedy? This is not the problem of the Republicans or the president. We weren't the ones who excluded ourselves from the observation. The Democrat machines excluded us from observation. So what's the remedy? There's only one remedy, and that is you throw out all those ballots that were never observed. Every single one of them gets thrown out. That's the remedy. If you can't do that, then you got nothing but dirty elections for the next 50 years. It's real simple. It's not complicated. If they don't want you to watch, why do they not want you to watch?
So how many votes would you be throwing out in Pennsylvania? Or should I put it this way, how many votes does Trump win by if you throw out all the contaminated ballots? And same question in Michigan.
He wins by a landslide in both states.
Is that enough to put him over the top, or does he need Wisconsin?
He could use Nevada. I'm not sure of the numbers on that. I'm not doing that kind of counting. We're working on legal theories to win cases. The numbers, that's for everybody else. We want to win as many states as possible. And we're going to get as many of these cases, whether it's Nevada, Arizona, Michigan, Pennsylvania. We got Georgia. I mean, every one of those states is in play. And the Supreme Court is not going to take these cases unless they believe that it will determine the outcome of the election. And that is what we are arguing. Now, the remedy, we're hearing from these people today, oh, you want to have the state legislatures hold hearings on these cases because you don't like the result and you're trying to deny black people the right to vote. No, actually, the people who are denying black people the right to vote are the Democrats who created the situation where the ballots could not be observed. But for the illegal conduct of Democratic machine politics in the major cities in Pennsylvania and Michigan and Wisconsin and Arizona and elsewhere, we wouldn't be in this position. It's not the fault of the president and the Republican Party that the Democratic machines in these cities prevented legitimate observations and certification and verification. It's their problem. They're the ones who are denying people the right to vote. And they're the ones who are diluting the votes of American citizens. This nonsense from these clowns in Michigan and Pennsylvania that this is an effort to suppress black vote is such crap. That, listen, Trump got more black votes than any American Republican presidential candidate in history. Give me a break.
The Democrats are going to say, well, we need to have discovery and we need to introduce evidence and, let's have a hearing in March on this, on pleadings. You know the way it works, Joe. You know better than me.
That's not going to, Howie, that's not going to happen. Howie, that's not going to happen. We either get relief now or these cases are over. We only have about 3 weeks to get this all done. Today, the Third Circuit Court of Appeals granted expedited review of our appeal from that horrific decision the other day by that judge in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, the Obama judge. Oh my God! You read that opinion. It's like a first-year law student. It's an abysmal, sophomoric, juvenile ruling. I mean, he turns due process and equal protection on its head. It's one of the worst judicial opinions I have ever seen. He's going to be summarily reversed by the Third Circuit.
But you're going to be running up against those Obama and Clinton judges at every step of the way, aren't you?
It depends on, you don't necessarily get those judges. There's a lot of judges on each circuit, and the Supreme Court now has a justice assigned to each of these major areas to immediately review cases and grant relief if necessary. So the Supreme Court is ready. They understand. Justices have been assigned. Nobody said this is easy, Howie. Now, remember, Bush v. Gore is one state, one group, one litigation, a couple of counties. That's all it was. This is 6 states, 7 states, judges all over the place, lawyers all over the place, a huge, huge ask on the part of us and asking the lawyers that are working on these things. But we've got some great lawyers. They're doing a great job, and all we can do is fight. Look, we're not going to give up. The president's not going to give up. He's a fighter. You know that as well as I do. You've talked to him before. We've been talking to the president every day, giving him updates on what's going on. He's just the same as he's always been. He's not going to give up. He's not going to concede. He's never going to concede because he knows that this election was stolen. Listen, when that vote counting stopped universally in all the big states, in all the swing states, the vote stopped. There was a circuit breaker. They all stopped at the same time, and then all those hundreds of thousands of ballots in each of the states just came pouring in. That was no coincidence. That was a coincidence with a purpose. This was planned. It was done to be done this way. The Democrats didn't spend 3 years litigating before this election to get the mail-in ballot voting laws changed in each state. Even if they weren't done by the legislatures, they did it for a reason, so they could do exactly what happened on election night. And this had nothing to do with COVID. This effort to change the laws on mail-in, mail-out, and absentee ballots was done by Democrats 3 years ago. It started litigation in state courts, long before there was coronavirus.
Who assigned those justices to the various